everybody, and welcome to this session, one more from the House of Capstone DI. I'm Dr. Sujaya Banerjee, and I'm the CEO of Capstone People Consulting. We've been bringing these very exciting podcasts to you. For those coming in late, Capstone People Consulting is a leading consulting firm in the space of workplace culture, change, leadership capability building, ESG cultures, and cultures of compliance. We're very excited to bring you these podcasts because we recently relaunched our Capstone DI offering or practice under the aegis of Capstone DI. We've actually been pioneers in this space. Some of the earliest work in the country was done under the aegis of our not-for-profit forum called the Women Leadership Forum of Asia. We've helped lots of organizations understand what it means to be an equal opportunities employer, and we continue bringing state-of-art insights and thought leadership in this space. We're very excited today to be able to introduce a very exciting set of people who are going to help us bust a lot of myths, reflect on our own lives. We've called it Revving Up the Soul because that's what a motorcycle really does. We're going to try and have gender diversity conversations with a set of very fiery young women who are completely revolutionizing the whole space of the myths that the bikes belong only to the men. And they've done this by surmounting many challenges. They are very, very brave women in that a lot of them take solo trips. They're very brave women in that they stood up to a lot of pushbacks and challenges from their own families who could not understand why they needed to get onto a motorcycle stroke bike that actually traditionally in their own paradigm belongs to something that the men do, who are the only ones who are powerful, have the guts and the courage and can be fearless. Now, here are these women who are actually setting a new path. They're defining a new paradigm. They are actually busting a lot of the misconceptions and misplaced ideas we have around what place belongs to whom. And they're here to reclaim their space, their rightful space, in what they call the most meditative experience that they've ever had in their lives. To be able to take you into this, I want you to watch a very exciting video. Raman, can you help us with that? I think that's the right introduction to this session and these very exciting 4 fiery women who you're going to meet today: Neha Hatangari, Ranjana Vishwakarma, Shilpa Balakrishnan, and Shilpa Nair. Some very, very exciting bikers, and they're going to tell you their stories. I want you to listen to their stories from the lens of using this as metaphors for all that you can bust in the workplace. Many, many insights that they're driving in today are what women should consider in the context of how it is that they view their lives, how they make decisions, and how it is that they plan to pursue their careers. So I think with that, can I have the video, please?
No, it's a woman! It's a woman! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a girl! This
All right, I think that deserves an absolutely fabulous round of applause. So very, very excited to have each one of you here. First of all, thank you for having this conversation with us. We've got 2 Shilpas. I don't know whether to become a biker, you need to be a Shilpa. So you're going to tell us that. Of course, Neha's always been a very sprightly person. And Ranjana, I found your stories when we spoke the first time the most inspiring. So I'm going to try and bring each one of you in. In this first segment, I simply want you to help our viewers understand, right? My first question to all of you is how did you take this up? How did you take up biking? I'm also interested to know what pushbacks did you get from family, from the significant partner, from anyone else who was a friend? What did you hear when you wanted to take this up? And I know a lot of you were already riders of two-wheelers, but the general two-wheeler that we associate with a woman is a scooty, or I don't know, a bicycle, maybe at best a scooter. But it's very uncommon you know, I do know you see the occasional biker on the road, right? But it's uncommon to take this up. And I know you eventually created a club and all of that, but to take this up as a passion or to take this up as a hobby or to own a motorbike. So give us a sense on how you arrived there. And we start with you, Ranjana.
Yeah, hi everyone. Uh, uh, it's nowadays. I mean, I feel it's much easier to have your own bike because it's not as difficult as it was earlier. It was mode of transport for men. I mean, it was not mode of transport for us. And now it's easier for us to take decision for ourselves, and one can buy a bike for herself nowadays. So it's much more easier. But yeah, I mean, Shilpa Balakrishnan can give you a better idea in terms of how difficult it would have been for her. And I know about Neha as well. It was difficult for her to, take permission. And because my scenario was totally different. I just bought it and I kept it in front of my house. And ab yahi hai. Matlab, you can't ask me to take it back or do anything else. I mean,
Yeah,
I
well, I
was
think
like, yeah, I bought it.
that is like a super moment, which is you didn't ask anyone, you went and bought a bike. I want you
Yeah,
to tell
yeah, I
people
mean,
about that, right? It's a
uh,
very bold step to take, which is you don't talk to people about the fact that, you know, I want to pursue biking in a big way, or that I'm going to invest this kind of money buying a motorbike, and that you have a brother and a bhabhi and everybody else around in the house. You know, there
yeah.
are parents, all of that, and you just go put one bike out there one day and say, "This is my bike, and this is it." I think it's an amazing
So,
story.
yeah,
Do relate what happened when you put that bike out there.
I mean, initially when we asked for even if for a cycle, I mean, Dad, I want a cycle. No, 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 no. You will, harm yourself. You'll break your leg. Don't do that. I mean, we need to keep you in one piece before you get married. So don't do that. So it's always a no, no
We need you
from
in one
parents.
piece to get married. I think that's a very good line.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
isn't it कि शादी के बाद करना जो करना है शादी के बाद करना. So it was so difficult to get even a bicycle. I was like, I need a bicycle. I know how to ride, but there was a big no, no in capital letters. And then eventually, when I grown up, and it was like, एक Activa ले लूं, तो no, 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 you can't buy. Don't buy all this thing. You can't ride. You can't do this. And when this third phase came, I was like, okay, sorry, this is something I bought. This is it is delivered now. You can't say no to me. You can't do anything about it. It is something जो आ चुका है अब. So third time I didn't took the risk. I just bought it. Just
Right.
bought it.
Right. And I think what that reeks of is what financial independence can really do to you, right? The
Yes,
fact that you
yes,
can make
yes,
your
yes,
choices, you can say that
yes.
you're not taking this back, that this is already done and dusted, this is a
Hmm.
decision made. And I think in your own way, you were asserting in such a significant way on what you needed or wanted the most, and that you were not now going to wait for any permissions. I just want to
Yes.
let the audience here know. I want the audience here to know we're all laughing because we're finding disobedience so amusing. And I'm saying, I'm sure if we had many on the call, they wouldn't really hesitate with how many times they've disobeyed their parents. I think for the women, it's a big deal to disobey and to be able to do something without asking their parents. So I'm glad that you're calling this out. Um, you know, I want to quickly tell the audience about the backgrounds of the people that we're talking to here today so that you kind of understand that they are professionals, they work, you know, they pursued careers, they have families. So, you know, I don't want us to imagine that, you know, these are people who have, in the recklessness of youth, gone and bought themselves a bike and are calling themselves bikers and so on, or so they borrowed someone's secondhand bike. These are people who legitimately, you know, own bikes. They pursue this as a passion. This is the space of basically breaking all the shackles, and like they describe, go into and move into a meditative space of their own, which is very, very refreshing and rejuvenating for each one of them. They really seek the space for rejuvenation and for regenerating their mental health, positive mental health. I want you to know that Neha, manages a very, very popular ESP show. She's a manager for an important ESP show. Shilpa Nair is an associate consultant at TCS. Ranjana Vishwakarma is an assistant manager, sales and marketing with a private company. And Shilpa Balakrishnan is a motorcycle trainer. So all the women who are tuning in today, here is the teacher that you need to go to. This is the motorcycle trainer. She's a road trip organizer. She's a traveler. She's in the India Books of Records holder. She's a certified tourist facilitator of Incredible India. And she has inspired so many more women to be able to also take up biking. She's in fact the teacher of many of the people that you find on the show today, on our talk today. So, hats off to Shilpa for encouraging more women to be able to come on and take on this fearless sport. So, with that, I'm going to move to the others. I want to know your stories of how did you get initiated into biking. So I'm going to save the last for the teacher. Okay, so Shilpa, I'm going to come to you last. I'm going to move to the other Shilpa. Tell me how you
Okay.
came into this. I know you're married, you have children, all of that. What does your husband tell the children? Mummy's gone off on a bike trip. I mean, how does that really work? Or she's gone off riding on the bike. Yeah, she wants her freedom. She wants her space. Mom's gone roaring away the engine and going off fearlessly on a bike. But tell me how you got into this. What pushbacks did you get? What challenges did you experience?
Sure, sure. So first of all, thanks so much and good evening, everyone.
Indeed.
Thanks for adding me in this meeting and allowing me to share my experience. So actually, the inspiration, I always wanted to ride. Wanted to ride a bike since my childhood. But sometimes you have other priorities like your career, your family, even
Mm,
financially also you need particular level of stability to
mm,
go for this kind of adventure stuff.
yeah.
So actually, my daughter inspired me. I mean, right now there are many schoolgirls here. So I would like to tell them that one of you only inspired me to, take up this as a riding as a hobby. So my daughter is now 20 years old, by the way. So when she started riding, I thought ki, I mean, if she is doing it, I think I should also give it a try because I used to actually get afraid because of my short height. I'm very short. I mean, it's almost just touching 5 feet. That's it.
Okay.
So everyone in my college days said that, Shilpa, I mean, you are very short. This will not, I mean, you will not be able to ride a bike. So that was my first ever block that
Mm,
time.
mm,
But then my daughter started riding. I thought, ki, if she can ride, I can absolutely, I can at least give it a try. So I still remember my first ride. I was riding like this. So my friend who was actually teaching me, he started saying, Shilpa, tu na naak jaise chala rahi hai gaadi. So, so the first day was terrible, but then yeah, मुझे तो चलानी थी. So I had totally decided that I want to ride. And uh, my husband, actually, even he doesn't know how to ride. I inspired him to learn a bike.
Nice.
So now within a 6 months, we both of us, we bought bikes for ourselves.
Nice.
So now we have two
Wow.
bikes. We ride on two different bikes, and yeah,
Nice.
so good,
Nice. And
good
so
fun.
you're not giving each other the privilege to be each other's pillion rider, yeah? You just both want to be the riders itself.
Of
So
course,
yeah, you don't want to
pillion.
ride behind.
No pillions.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I begin. We bought one bike, okay, and
Mm,
I was so whenever we have to go together, he used to ride, I used to sit as a pillion.
mm,
So it is very boring to sit as a pillion. Let me tell you. I mean, there is nothing to do. I mean, no thrill at all. I mean,
mm.
and you need tremendous amount of patience if you want to be a pillion because you
Yeah.
can't do anything other than just looking here and there. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I told my husband, boss, bas ho gaya, tum chala apna bike, I want my bike. And
Okay.
immediately within 6 months, we had another bike at our doorstep.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. So you don't seem to have had too much of strife to get here because it was just a function of your daughter doing it, you're doing it, and then you get your husband in as well, and then now you're a biker family basically.
Yes.
Have you all ever gone on 3 separate bikes to a trip?
No, my daughter is not I mean, she has not become a biker yet. I mean, she
Okay.
know how to ride. She has her priorities because she has college, she has her
Yeah, yeah.
own, I mean, she's pursuing dance as a career. So she's not interested. And we don't ask also her to come.
Okay.
We plan our own thing and we go for rides.
Okay. Okay.
And she is
Lovely.
absolutely busy in her own course. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I mean,
Right.
it's a time for me actually to, live for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because till now, I mean, till she become like, till she goes to the college, I was literally, I used to feed her in the night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my life was completely revolved around her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now it's time for me to, come out of my shell and do what I want to do actually.
Yeah, yeah. And considering that you spent most of your time revolved around your family, you've taken a rather bold step to go on a bike and to be able to kind of feel liberated on your bike in a significant way. But good on you. And I'm going to loop back to ask you some more questions. I'm going to
Sure.
move on to Neha. Okay, uh, the super powerful woman on her bike. And I must say that I saw Neha's pictures on the bike, and she spoke about the Bikers Club, which is the reason why I said we must get in and figure what the bikers club is all about, and can the women tell us their stories, because they would have broken so many myths, shackles, biases when they actually got onto the bike and succeeded. So Neha, my question to you are twofold. One is, how did the parents, everyone else, react when you decided to be able to become a biker, and also what has been your early experience on the road as a biker? So I want to know both.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Neha Hatangadi, and I work with Deepak Rao, the ESP man, and we do shows, mind shows, and we travel extensively. So that was the reason I couldn't actually pursue this much because I had a lot of travel happening. And basically, inherently, I have been a very bold, fearless, bindas rebel,
Hmm.
and because of which
That I
my
know, that I know, Neha. Yeah.
my entire family can vouch for that. So that is when I always wanted to buy a bike, always. But once I started working, I told my family that I'm planning to buy a bike, and I actually got a small little 2-day training from a ex colleague of mine,
Hmm.
and that was just half an hour each day, just 2 days.
Hmm.
And I said yes, and now I want to buy a bike. So my family was like completely against it. They were like, no way, you can't buy a bike, this is not for women, and this is blah blah blah. You don't even have experience on a scooter, you have no experience on a two-wheeler except a cycle. No, 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 and all that. Then they said, okay, fine, then do one thing, you buy a scooter, you ride it for a few years, then once you get used to it, then maybe you can think about it. That is one way to tell me, forget about this, just
Yeah, yeah,
continue with the scooter.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I was like, okay, fine, kind of sounds safe. So I
yeah.
said, okay, then I got a scooter for myself, and I rode that for quite a few years. But till then, I still hadn't found anyone who could teach me how to ride a bike.
To move this over to the other Shilpa, the Shilpa who's the guru. And I want to know from Shilpa, because Shilpa's stories are amazing. So I really want to know. I saved you for the last Shilpa, which is the reason why I'm asking you last. But do tell us, how did you get initiated into becoming a biker? And you're not just a biker, you're a teacher. You've initiated so many other women and encouraged them to be able to come in and experience this form of liberation and fearlessness. I want to know what has been your journey, and you've obviously started in another era in comparison. So you would have had perhaps more pushbacks. Very interested to know what were the experiences you had around you when you started biking.
First of all, thank you for having me on this platform. It's wonderful to be here. Good evening to all the people who have joined in to listen to us. And to answer your questions, Jaya, it's I think this was my destiny to become a biker. I never dreamt that I would ever get onto a bike and ride, and forget riding. I would do so many things
Mm,
being on a bike or being a biker. it all started, but I love to travel. So the love for travel has been there within me like since ages, or I would say it's in my DNA because all of us in our family love to travel. So I used to travel pillion with my friend, and one day he's like, "I'm bored riding in the traffic, so you better learn and you ride it yourself. I'm not going to ride it in the traffic." So there was a pushback for 2 hours from my end that I'm not going to learn and all that. A lot of arguments happened, but he didn't give up, and ultimately I started riding. And I took all of 1 month. I mean, I learned in 15 days, but I am a person who doesn't want to do something that I won't do. But somehow I just, so he kept challenging me. He used to challenge, he would push the ego button in me. There is any hoga, tu das scooty chala, that kind
Okay.
of a thing.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, chalo, don't talk so much, and I would just pick the bike and run away. Just take his bike and run away. He would be tense, but he knows, okay, she'll be back. So that's how it started. And then, yeah, the fun for traveling and
Yeah.
the daily commute from Malad to Sakinaka, where I used to spend 2.5 hours on the bus one way. I just took my bike and it would be 45 minutes one way. So
Yeah.
faster. I like the speed, and that's how I started traveling. And then, a lot of other small travels here and there, 100
Yeah.
kilometers to so
Yeah.
200, then week
Yeah.
long, weekends, week long, then days, and yeah, much.
Yeah.
It kept on going ahead.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's how it all started.
Family,
And
how did family react to all this?
so my dad had passed away when I learned. I learned in 2003. Uh, yeah, at that time, not many females were on the road who would, bike around and all that. And so when I finished the learning, I hadn't told anyone in my house. No one knew about it. I just bought the bike and stopped at my friend's bike. It was. He said, like, you uh, ride it so you'll get better experience. So I came and I parked it outside my house, and I told Mom, see, I've got the bike. She came out, she looked at me, she looked at the bike, and no big reaction, nothing. She just said, okay. I said, all right. And then I told her, my sister stays like about a kilometer and a half, not very far from my house. So I told my mom, so I'll take you Pillion. And she used to wear sari. So she sat at the back, and I said, Mom, I'm not used to taking on a one side,
Yeah.
wearing a sari, used it on one side. So I don't know how I'm going to take you, but I'll try. So I took her to my sister's house and came back, and I asked her, how did you feel the ride? So she's like, you're riding very slow. Okay.
Right.
Eventually, I bought my bike in 2005, and then I took her on a
But
ride
I'm
to.
going to just intervene to say the
Sure.
standard operating procedure seems to be they don't ask anyone, just get the bike and put it there and say, this is my bike. That's it. I'm going to ride this. Because if you're
Uh,
waiting to be able to have these conversations around what you're going to do and that you're going to go buy one, should I? I'm wondering, what do you think? You seem to have not done any of that. Just you
no.
and Ranjana, standard operating procedure, get the bike. Say, ladies, you want to do something, just go out there and do it. Yeah, that's what they're actually telling you. Yeah, don't wait for too many discussions and 10 people telling you why you can't do it and so on. And they have had family members, by the way, saying that, this is a very male thing. It doesn't look nice for a female to do this. And I think y'all have been up against that as well, right? Like significant brothers or male in the family, men in the family telling you doesn't look very graceful for a woman to ride a bike. So
Absolutely. So
yeah,
when I bought my bike, my own bike in 2005, so Unicorn 150 cc, it looks pretty huge and it's nice, of course. But
yeah.
so like, इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी का क्या करोगी? तुमसे उठाया भी नहीं जाएगा. What are you trying to prove? किसको दिखाना चाहती हो? बाइक राइड करके क्या प्रूफ करना चाहती हो? Like you are
Yeah.
some macho, you're something, out of this world and all that.
Hmm.
And
No,
because I used to use it for daily commute, right? So yeah,
you were
sorry.
using it. Yeah, you said you had a functional utility out of the bike, which is it'll get me faster and the rest of that. So somehow everyone reconciled around it. But just give me a sense, all of you on the call. But you told you're trying to show off too much. You're trying to act too smart. What are you trying to show? I think I get that the other Shilpa has not had that challenge. Okay. But I think I heard that the rest of you during our first call tell me that you got a lot of like inside family members, inside talk was, what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to tell the world?
I mean, right now the machine which I have right now is one of the heaviest machine. I mean, it's Interceptor 650. So I used to reaction would be, "Ki, this is your first bike, man?" I said, yes, this is my first bike. I was supposed to buy a Bullet, but when I ended up in the showroom, I mean, I like this machine. How do you ride it? It's so heavy for a woman. And I'm like, yeah, I'm riding it. I mean, I'm not gonna weight lift with a bike, right?
Mm.
So that's how it was. The reaction was like that. And it has a dual silencer. It's not one silencer. It looks huge, very huge. So everyone said, is this your first bike? Why did you go for this bike? And I was like, yeah, I liked it. So that is the reason I bought it. But yeah, reaction is like this only. Why you bought this heavy bike? You could have bought a lighter bike, or you would have bought another bike or something like that. But yeah, reaction was like this only.
Right. I want to know, some of you shared your experiences in the early days when you went out on the road on your bike, and you had other male bikers or other bikers on the road who'd have certain things to say to you. Shilpa, you want to go first?
Um, so the first reaction is always like, अरे ये देखो लड़की चला रही है, ये गलत, इधर ना गलत, कुछ तो गलत करेगी, and they start honking behind you like hell.
Mm.
I was taking this friend of mine who taught me to ride. I was taking him pillion, and this was, the initial days when I was riding. And this guy, I mean, I was crossing a road in Oshiwara, the signal, and there were two men who were coming from the opposite side, and they were like, "ये देखो क्या जमाना आ गया है, अब लड़का लड़की के पीछे बैठ के राइड करेगा, ये कौन सा जमाना है अब?"
Mm.
So that was like weird, and I was like, okay, where is it written that only a woman, I mean, only a man can ride a bike and not a woman?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, there are a lot of people who hoot around you, who
Mm.
try to race with me, and
Mm.
try to ride in front of my bike, just,
Mm.
a
Hmm.
little ahead of the tire and all these things. So, yeah, नहीं तो zigzag करके ऐसे जाएंगे,
Mm.
snake around and all those things. So, yeah, these things
Yeah.
were a lot at that time. So,
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
still happens, still happens. Even,
Yeah.
I mean, it happens still now. I mean, there are several terms to it right now. Some call them chapris, some call them squids. So there are several terms to them right now. And each
Yeah.
and every, the moment they get to know, I mean, now though gears and everything are quite particular in group riding, in solo riding. There are
Hmm.
several, safety measures that we take while riding. I mean,
Mm.
so in gears, there is no color. It's black. It's black, and no one would recognize whether it's a lady biker or a
Mm.
male biker. The moment
Mm.
they understand that it's a lady biker, they try to, get into your way in some or the other way,
Mm.
teasing or
Mm.
Correct.
speeding, or
Mm.
that's how Shilpa might have also experienced it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
I also want you to tell the viewers of how much you get encouraged by the men on the road. Like all of you spoke about that there are people, the minute they come to know that it's a female, they'll show you a thumbs up sign. And, so
that,
tell me
yeah,
yes,
some
yeah.
more
yes,
about
yes,
how it is that you're also being encouraged on the road.
So
yes,
yes,
yes, yes. That also
yeah,
happens.
that also happens. So I will like to, I mean, give one example. I was going to Statue of Unity 2 weeks back. So I was riding, and there was one person, I mean, on a bike, chapri kind of a
Mm.
person, who was, kept his legs on his handle. I mean, and he
Mm.
was riding a bike. He
Okay.
was like continuously going ahead of me, slowing down, going
Hmm.
back of me, and again going ahead of me. I mean, for few kilometers, he was like that only. But luckily, I had few riders with me, so he couldn't go beyond that. I mean,
Mm.
I mean, he didn't do anything or anything.
Hmm.
But then I was like, boss, ये कभी मेरे पीछे से चला जाएगा.
Yeah.
It was very, very
Hmm.
irritating. And
Mm.
yeah, and there are instances when there are people who when they pass and they do thumbs up, you feel proud. Okay, I mean they are appreciating that
Hmm.
a woman, as a woman, we are riding on the road. So
Yeah.
we face both kind of people on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
True,
So,
true.
I'm interested to know about your most trying incident on while being a biker. And Ranjana, I'm going to leave your bikers, how you created the bikers club story for the last, okay? But I'm really interested for you to be able to share with the with our viewers today is, one trying, compelling situation you found yourself in as a biker. And I know that Shilpa has fabulous story on her Himalayan passes experience and so on. But for each of you to tell me some bind or some difficulty you got into while being a biker. This can't be easy. And I'm sure that because you all ride, including solo rides to different locations, you must be full of adventure stories. I know Shilpa has a fabulous one. So Shilpa, I'm going to go with you first. So tell our viewers your story at the Himalayan passes and what you experienced. So one of your most trying situation, but also a situation you learned so much from.
Um, yeah, so Himalayan Conquers, this I did in 2021. I covered like 33 Himalayan passes. And it was, a test to the body, mind, and soul completely. Because these passes, not apart from, I think 15, 20 passes which would be populated or which are, you know, popular amongst the riders. The others are not, and even those ones are not generally visited by all. So passing through them, I was doing an absolute solo rides. My solo rides, there is no one, there's no backup. The only backup is the coordinators on WhatsApp, where I have the group where I post that, okay, I'm going to do from here to here. This is going to be my destination. There is no time limit. There is no time frame, nothing at all. So one of I had cleared the Sach pass, which is one of the toughest passes. So Sach pass, I completed that, went to Killer, Kishwar, and then from there I was going towards. Uh, I did the cliffhanger, and from Tehri I was going towards Gulabgarh and to the next passes, of course. So I reached Tehri around 7 in the evening, and the person who had guided me till there, because he was passing the same route. So he said, "Madam, chalo, मैं अभी आपके साथ चलता हूँ." So I said, "Okay, fine. I mean, it doesn't matter whoever is riding." So he was a local. So if you have a local around you, it is always good because if anything happens, they know how to move around. So I went there and I left from Tehri. He said, "मैडम 20 किलोमीटर है, आप पहुंच जाओगे. 5-6 किलोमीटर के बाद थोड़ा सा कच्चा रास्ता आएगा, फिर आप निकल जाओगे." And actually there was no road after that 5-6 kilometers, no
Wow.
road at all. And the decline and the ascent was, it was tremendous. And with no roads, as in no roads, the stones and loose gravel, not gravel, mud, fine mud, of course, and all that. And in the night, you can't see anything. The headlight is, no matter, of course, I don't put any extra lights on my bike, but even if you put extra lights, you will not be able to see anything. It was pitch dark. All I was hearing is the sound of the waterfall. And I didn't know if it is a water crossing or it's an actual waterfall. I mean, if there is a bridge. So I thankfully saw the bridge. So, I mean, I saw the bridge and I was thankful. Oh, thank you. I don't have to get in the water,
Yeah.
the cold water. So I crossed that and I had to climb up. And the moment I took the climb up, it was, the tire hit a stone and I fell off. In the middle of nowhere, I fell off and I don't know what to do. And I was like, I waited for 7:30. This happened, and from 7:30 to about 9:30, I was like, oh, I mean, I cannot pick up the bike. I cannot sit there. I was just sitting in the mud. I covered myself with the jacket. I removed my jacket and covered so that I can keep myself warm. It was cold. It was end of September, so obviously it was getting more cold. And there was no one. I walked up. I saw a light, and I walked a little up the mountain and saw that there was nothing but the moonlight. And there was a JCB standing there. So I was wondering whether I should sit in the JCB, keep myself warm, or what should I do? What about my bike? And I had not eaten anything. I didn't. I had some snacks, but then I didn't feel like eating because I was dehydrated. And when you get scared, the adrenaline rush really pushes you down.
Yeah.
So, and then when I turned around to come back to my bike, I saw this. I saw two headlights, and I was like so happy, like blessing. And I waved my hand. Then I realized, okay, he's not going to see my hand. So I came running down that mountain all the way, and he was just coming up. And I stopped him and I asked him, I asked him to help me pick up the bike. So he was like, "Ma'am, aap akele idhar kya kar rahe ho?" And he was also alone. He was a cab driver, and he was alone there. And I didn't have a choice. I had to trust him. And something in me said that it is better to, trust rather than die there or be there till yeah, sixth sense. So I just went with my sixth sense and I told him, okay, I need to reach up to Gulabgarh. And so he's like, "अब आगे भी खराब रास्ता है, आप कहाँ इसमें घुस गए हो? चलो मैं आपको help कर देता." So he helped me pick up the bike and then I rode till wherever I could ride. Then he's like, "आप रुको, मैं आपको यहाँ से निकाल के देता हूँ, वरना आप फिर गिरोगे तो तकलीफ होगा." Because they know the roads, right? They go in and out of it, so they know how to move around. So there were 2 or 3 water crossings. So he removed my bike from there and then I rode behind him. So he was guiding me and then I reached Gulabgarh at around 12:31. And because it's a gown, there were few lodges, but then none of them were open and no people around. So I cannot even go knocking because सबका gates बंद था. So I slept in his cab. उसके पास थोड़ा chips वगैरह था. I had that. He shared and I also shared. So he sat in the front seat and he slept there. I sat in the back seat and slept in his minivan. And that's how the entire night I spent there in his car. And then in the morning he dropped me to one of the inns over there, the lodges. फिर वहां पे he said tata, but before I could thank him, he even went off. So he was like he was God sent.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's such a wonderful story on how, when you are filled with positive purpose and when you're making an endeavor with courage, how help will come to you from nowhere at all. And I think it's also an incredible story around how humanity has no gender. And and when you're just there and you're human, you'll just reach out to help whoever it is that needs that help. But you are indeed the Wonder Woman going into the Himalayan passes on your own on an adventure holiday on your bike. So good on you for that. We have Neha back. Neha, we're talking about the most compelling, trying, challenging situation you have experienced while being on a bike.
I haven't been on a major situation as such. The only thing is they're very humorous situations, okay, with the male bikers, which I always get to experience. So what has happened is when I got my scooty, I would ride my scooter to work. And on my way, okay, literally at least once or twice in a day, I would experience this. I would be riding, I would see some other male, maybe he's sitting on a scooty. So he's at the speed of maybe 30, 35. Okay, aram se cruising. So I will just zoom past him. And the minute I would zoom past, this guy would like, and he'll just cross over and, at the speed of 50, 60, he'll just zoom ahead. So it's like they cannot take anyone on a scooty, a female riding past or crossing them. And, this has happened not once, not twice, literally once or twice in every ride that I've been on. So this would happen when I was on a scooty, but it would be completely different when I'm on a bike. So when I'm on a bike, it's like I ride the bike, I'm at a signal. The minute these guys on my right, left, they come to know I'm a female, they'll keep looking and, they'll keep peeping and trying to see who this is. And of course, I'm not going to put my visor on because it's too hot. So I open it up. The minute I open up, they know it's a female. So then they'll keep peeping. And that is when they will never try to overtake or, do any of those stunts. But when you're on a scooty, it's like they cannot take the fact that a female can go faster than them, but not when on a bike.
So
will actually,
Neha, the model of the story seems to be that get yourself on a bike. Okay, forget this.
absolutely,
Yeah, get yourself on the
absolutely.
bike. Yeah, I think it's a metaphor for careers. Let me just tell you that. Yeah.
Yes.
Get yourself
yes.
on a bike. Don't stay on a scooty. And in scooty, you're going to experience all kinds of pettiness around you. Yeah. Just get yourself on a bike.
Always.
And go at a
And
speed. Yeah. Go
no,
at a speed.
and the thing is,
yeah.
the greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you can't do.
Yeah.
And this is what I have been following actually since childhood. And it's really helped.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the reason I'm more of a rebel, you know. Like
yeah.
I like to do things that people say you can't.
Yeah. So I'm going to call it positive rebellion, which is it's actually
Yes.
provoking the best in you.
Yes.
So it's positive provocation more than anything else. And you know that I'm also want all the men and women on the show to know that we don't always need to wait for an external positive provocation. That a lot of these can come internally. So you
Yes.
don't need for someone to have to treat you badly or someone to be able to tell you that you can't do it. And it is so amazing that we still have people telling someone else that they can't do it. So I think we've more than broken so many myths, so many paradigms already. And I think the beauty of your story was that to be ask women to get onto a bike. You know what I
Oh
mean? Get
yes.
yourself ready and prepared to be on a bike. Don't remain on the scooties because that's where you'll get pushed around. I mean,
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
that's the story for the women. I'm going to move this over. Ranjana, any compelling, challenging situation you found yourself in on a bike?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of situations when, especially in rains, we get a lot of muddy roads or something like that. So last year we were riding somewhere called Camp Max, and it was a very bad road, very bad road. There was off-roading. So, I fell from my bike. I dropped my bike. I mean, once, twice, thrice, but I never left my bike behind. I picked it up. I got help as well. I picked it up. I sat on it. I started riding again. Again, there was some I got stuck since it's a little heavy, so I couldn't take the balance, and then I fell again. But again, I got up and finally I reached to the location. So there are little things where small. I mean, I have never have experienced what Shilpa ma'am has
Yeah,
experienced.
yeah,
It's just next level.
yeah.
I mean, it's an hats off to Shilpa
Oh yeah,
Balakrishnan. I mean,
absolutely.
because that time that bike and no lights, no nothing. Now we have so many features.
Yeah,
Mobile mount, the jackets, the other things, everything. I mean, mobile mount and everything. She didn't had that kind of,
yeah,
she had to mount his bag in behind. Now
yeah,
we have holders and everything. The things
yeah,
has changed a lot, but she did it that time. I mean, I still can't think of me
yeah,
getting into that situation.
yeah,
So it's so
yeah.
difficult. So we
It is.
haven't
It is.
faced any we haven't faced any major situation like her. But yes, positivity within you will help you always. So I
Yes.
mean, and her sixth sense was so strong. uh, it was so amazing to hear from her, but we
Yes.
haven't faced, I mean, I personally haven't faced something like that. These are the small thing, I mean, falling off from bike or
No, no, no.
getting
I
hurt or
just
something
wanted to
like
tell
that.
you that it's not a small thing. It is a big metaphor. It is a big metaphor for everyone who's on the call today, that no one who's on a bike has not fallen many times, and that they are bikers par excellence today because they've had the courage to put themselves back on the saddle again.
Yes, yes.
So
So
just
never
Absolutely,
because
give up,
absolutely.
never
just
give up.
because, yeah, just
Get
because you
on. Yeah,
felt,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
they were all right, this is not meant for women, this is not meant for
No,
a
no,
boy,
no,
look
no,
at my
no.
leg, look at my back, and you're back again on the saddle and back again on the saddle.
Yes, yes.
And I can't underline enough how much corporate careers are exactly the same, whether it's for the men or the women. How many times can you
True.
get yourself back on the saddle? Most people don't make it when other people do because they simply don't have the resilience to get back on the saddle. And so you're not
True.
just doing any job. I mean, even if it's all in a day's work that you fall off and you get back again. It is such an expression of your worldview, your positivity, your courage, your ability to know you can still do it and you can still do it. Also, your persistence, your resilience, overall your attitude towards life, your worldview, which is very inspiring. And so I
Yes,
meant to tell you
yes,
very
yes,
quickly, Ranjana, that that's not a small story. That's a really big one for everyone who's on the call today. So
yes,
thank you
yes.
for calling that out.
Thank
I'm just
you.
wondering at this stage, is there any other thing, any of what you want to talk about? Because we're pretty much towards the end of the
Mhm.
call. I want to start
Yes.
taking some questions if that's okay with you. Yeah?
Yeah,
Sure.
there's one thing that I would like to say.
Yes.
that a lot of people, non-bikers, when they see all these bikers, zooming across and all that, they always have this thing in their mind ki, these guys are very fast guys, like those chalu guys. They smoke, they drink, they think no order of
Yeah, yeah,
themselves, and they're like, they are rebels.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's not entirely true.
yeah,
It's not at all true, in fact. I mean,
yeah,
we have professionals out here, we have doctors, we have business uh, owners, we have gynacs, we have corporate guys, women, all of us. So we are not from any riffraff places that, that they can say, ki, you guys are useless. That's the reason you guys are doing this. It's not
yeah,
true.
yeah,
All
yeah.
of us
Right.
have something happening, and the kind of respect that we get from other men, women, from some of them, not all of them,
Mhm.
from the respect that we get from a lot of men, women, children, police,
Yeah,
they actually respect women bikers. Like, I was doing this ride, this was at the uh, Girgaon. There's this Gudi Padwa thing that
mm,
happens. It's a rally,
yeah, yeah,
where women are supposed to ride bikes with your navaris and your
yeah,
glasses and
yeah.
your fetas and all that. So this year I had been there for
Okay.
the same, and all decked up and all that. So as I finished everything and I was on my way back, I was at Mahim at the main junction signal, and waiting for my signal. So suddenly there was this van which came up, and it was a police van with only women in it, police cops, all women. So there
Okay.
were five of them. The minute they saw me, they were like, "Hey, look at her!" And then they were like, this and then this, and I was like, I did the same.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and even the male cops, I mean, when I would pass by, they would all give me a thumbs up, and they'd
yeah,
all say. So
yeah.
the respect that women get as women riders, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed out the stigma for women to be on those bikes and people imagining, God
Yes,
knows which kind of wild breed is this, and they must be drunk
exactly.
and they must be doing something crazy. And for you to point out for all our viewers that these are professionals and they're doctors and they're engineers and they are people who are
Yes,
working and all of that. And while the police and the rest of them are also sort of, doffing their hats at you, I want you to know that you're very respected and admired, which is the reason why you're on
yes.
the show. So I think we're full of admiration for your courage and your fearlessness and all of that. I'm going to take one question from the audience, if that's okay with you. Lina Kutumble is asking you, has biking been an addictive sport for you? Do you keep upgrading the bike with more accessories?
It is kind of a addictive, but yeah, you have to be in your control. I mean, you should, it's not like you pinch your regular thing and then do it.
Hmm.
Manage, balance it, because we have family, we have to also see. I mean, I have
Yeah,
a kid, she has to make her career, so we have to find a balance somewhere, and then keep upgrading. But yeah, it is addictive. I mean,
hmm,
you will keep on either updating your bike or keep on adding into your
yeah.
bike collection.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good point. I'm going to ask the second one, and this time I'm going to try and ask Shilpa to be able to answer it. Are you required to manage your diet and health? I'm asking Shilpa, our teacher, okay, to answer this. So, are you required to manage your diet and health for long distance riding?
So diet and
Well
health,
said, yes.
you need to be fit all the time, whether you're riding a
Mm,
bike or not,
mm,
because fitness is what keeps your mind and health always at par. So,
mm,
yeah, what I suggest definitely is if you're on a long journey or you're traveling through different states or different places, try and maintain a simple diet or rather simple food. Don't
mm,
look out for what you would get at home. Don't
mm.
You can pamper yourself, but keep it simple. Like dal chawal sabzi roti har jagah milta hai. So you just have dal chawal, but of that place.
Mm,
Don't like what I see is when people go to Ladakh, they ask for Maggie. They will
mm.
not eat Maggie at their home, but they want to eat Maggie at Ladakh, which spoils their health because it
Yeah,
doesn't digest.
yeah,
And then they end up with a lot of, altitude sickness, which they don't realize and all. And the locals are troubled because of this, because you
right.
are not taking care of yourself. They don't know your health.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Good
this
point.
is very necessary that you need to keep your health. I mean, basically, the food that you eat has to be local food
Yeah,
and cultivate a taste for it. If you're
yeah,
out, you are going to explore. So why not try their food?
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
very good and healthy as well, because that environment, that kind of food is what is going to keep you healthy. So
Right.
when I did my Pan India ride in 2016, I was out for 4.5 months. I did all the 29 states and 5 union territories and all that. But
Right.
trust me, not a single day I drank bottled water.
Hmm.
Not a single day. जो
Hmm.
local ढाबे में पानी मिलता था, I used to drink that, eat at the
Okay.
dhaba, fresh, freshly cooked food, neat hygiene dhaba, of course.
Hmm.
And I used to not fuss over food. I'm a vegetarian, so as long as
Hmm.
I get vegetarian food, I'm fine with it. And I did not have even one day of upset stomach or fever, not even cold, cold cough or things like that. That
Right.
4.5 months, I was absolutely in very good health. I lost about 10 kgs. I mean, that is because of the riding and all that. And I got into a particular
Oh
rhythm,
my
right?
God, please teach us how to do that.
And
Lost 10 kgs in one go.
yeah, so
Go on a
yeah,
rides.
I know.
you go on a
Lose
ride
weight.
because you get onto a timetable. Like सुबह 8
Yeah.
बजे breakfast करना है, 12 बजे खाना खाना
Yeah.
है,
Yeah.
and रात को फिर so you get into that regime and your body अपने आप it starts getting well. So I
Yeah.
was so healthy when I came back. I was like, I didn't even feel like coming back actually. तो मैं आधे रास्ते में I was
Yeah.
like, I reached Manor and my friends were saying चल चल घर जाना. I said यार बोर हो रहा है यार, कल से
Yeah.
कहाँ जाऊंगी मैं, I don't want to go home.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick round robins. First of all, I want you all to know that the chat is just full of love and affection and pride and encouragement and all of that for all of you. So you must not miss that because it's just amazing. Everyone's just so excited with all the stories that you've just shared. Um, Ranjana, your story on creating the Women's Bikers Club. Can you share that with our
Yes,
audience, please?
yes,
How did you
yes,
go about
yes. I
creating that?
would be
Why did you
very
create it?
happy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to share about it. So the discomforts I was talking about, right? So
Yeah.
when I initially started riding, I got a comment, "Itna slow chalati hai," and there were several stretches of continuously 50 kilometer or a patch
Mm,
where I am scared. I mean, it's a cup of tea for them, but it's not for me. I
mm,
am scared inside to ride for the first time and everything. And
yeah.
while returning also, halfway someone was there with me, and then I was all alone to reach home, something like
Yeah.
that. So I just wanted to create a space where the woman who's riding for the first time, she should be very comfortable. This is the meeting point, this is the end point, we're going to take a break in between, we're going to take a break in 30 kilometers, doing a recce before the ride, that this is the washroom where we can halt, this is the place where we can halt, the washroom is clean. So the idea to create this group was to give that space to women who are scared of riding with men, or are not comfortable to ride with anyone else, or scared of the I mean any other thing on the road. She'll be like कि नहीं यार मैं नहीं जाती हूँ, वो लोग स्पीड में निकल जाएंगे or something, any small discomfort. So this is how I got an idea of creating biker waves, BK's biker waves, where any woman with any two-wheeler, she's welcome. She just need to be in her safety gears, helmet, gloves, jacket, shoe, all safety gears, and she can ride at her own pace. I mean, Shilpa has accompanied us as a tail. Neha has been there. I'll be very happy if Shilpa comes to, mentor us someday to, how to go on long distance and everything. I'll be very happy to, introduce her to my group. I mean, her, experience would be so helpful for all the women who are part of this group in terms of, long rides, who want to do expedition. So that's how this group got created. I mean, any woman who want to ride, who want to, go for, small breakfast ride or a long expedition or wherever, she can just join this group, and she just have to forget about anything. It's her time. It's her me time. She can be, be herself throughout that period. She doesn't have to worry about, okay, कोई मुझे जज तो नहीं कर रहा, should I be on 60, should I be on 30? So yeah, that saves space for her. So that's how it got created.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say that everything you're saying are beautiful metaphors for women who want to have careers in the business world, because what you're trying to talk about is how can you create safe spaces where you're not under the pressure of, are you going at 60, are you going at 30, are you going at 70? You also mentioned that as the women bikers move forward, you kind of guard them from the back so that they're fine, they're
Yes,
not going to
yes,
be alone, no one's going to be alone, and that you trail them
yes,
behind them so that they always
yes,
know there's someone with them. So no matter which
yes,
speed you're picking, you always have someone behind you. And I
yes,
think
yes,
that is
yes,
so
yes,
amazing, because all of these are amazing metaphors for what women really need in the workplace, which is to create the safe spaces, your ability to be authentic, to pick up your speed as you'd like to, and to not feel intimidated with other people who are going to nudge you if you're not doing what it is that they're doing it, that the way you might
Mm-hmm.
want to do it would be different. Yeah, you can then grow to
Mm-hmm.
become a great biker, even better than a lot of the others. But you should be allowed to do this the way in which you're doing it, and that you need that support or that initial push, and you'll be able to do it. And that
Yeah, yeah,
if
definitely.
someone's trailing behind you, right, which is like someone's saying, don't worry, just go there, I'm behind you, we'll just
Yes,
get
yes,
so many more multiplicated sort of success stories. And I think that when you talk to me about trailing from behind, I was reminded of how women need to support women in the workplace. And I think for every
yes,
who's succeeding in the workplace, she owes it to everybody else who needs that support to also succeed. Even if
yes,
her times would
yes,
have been different, she would have had different opportunities or different circumstances. Madeleine Albright has a very nice quote, and it says that there's a special place in hell which is reserved for women who don't help other women. And I think when I heard about your Bikers Club for Women, I was struck with how you trail the last person who's biking so that you don't get
yes,
dissuaded with being slow or not being able to keep up with everyone. So
yes,
I think it's
yes,
just
yes,
wonderful. It's so much of compassion, so much of empathy, so much of support. And I believe everyone, why just women, everyone deserves that, and deserves that
yes.
space to be authentic, to be
Yes.
themselves, and still know someone's there to encourage them. First of all, thank you all for this fabulous contribution today. But I won't let you go till you all tell me, as briefly as you can, round robins for each one of you, is tell me why you bike. Why do you bike?
Ah, I feel alive.
Okay.
So it gives me some kind of an achievement that I am doing something different, maybe because right now 100% women are riding, so I'm doing something different. Uh, I know that I'm inspiring someone. I mean, whoever
Mm,
is a young girl who is sitting in the rickshaw with her parents, she may be looking at me and she must be thinking that, oh, I want to become like that. I mean,
mm,
I may be inspiring someone who will become a very good rider in the future.
mm.
So that's a good, good feeling we get. So it's
Mm.
everything is like good. I mean, the sense of confidence we get, sense of
Yeah.
achievement.
Yeah.
That's why I write.
Yeah, but I think your statement of I feel alive is so amazing. So thank you for sharing that. And of course, the fact that
Yeah.
you're constantly an inspiration to other women around. Ranjana, do you want to go next? Just answer simply for me, why do you bike?
It's just me time. I mean, that time I'm not thinking about my work or have I, been to parlor or not? How do I look or what it is? I just feel, all the worries are left behind. Like I'm free on my bike. I mean, it's just a sense of freedom.
Hmm. Lovely,
And
beautiful.
it's a addictive thing. It's a addictive
Yeah.
thing. I mean, every Sunday, if I don't take out my bike, I just don't feel I haven't done anything for the week. I mean, I just feel weak. I don't feel like going to work. I just want
Yeah.
to bike, ride my bike at least once a week,
Lovely.
regenerate myself.
Yeah, yeah. Rejuvenation, feel alive, feel
Yeah.
free, feel liberated. Lovely, beautiful. Neha, why do you bike?
For me, it's like inside that helmet, it's just me. I mean, I don't have to think. I'm not judged. I'm not. So nobody's pointing out fingers at me, and nobody's there to say anything. It's just my space. That adrenaline rush. That plus, I agree with both of them. It's inspiring for other women also. They may not come out with it. Some of them do, but even to men, it's very encouraging.
Yeah.
It's liberating. It's the adrenaline rush, that meditative thing, is actually meditation. Like when I'm in there, I don't see anybody. I don't see the potholes. I don't see the
Mm.
people. I don't see the traffic. I don't see anything. It's just me.
Mm.
That thing that you don't get it anywhere else. I really don't
Nice.
get it anywhere else.
Nice.
It's just
Beautiful.
being there. I just wait for it to happen. I just wait to get into that helmet and out there
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Lovely. Beautiful. So now I'm going to ask Shilpa, our teacher, right? Tell us, you've been at this for so many years. If you were to really very simply put it, why do you bike?
Um, so I would say what all the three women said over here, but freedom, independence,
Yes.
to be what I am.
Mm.
And it's recognizing yourself. You will push yourself to the core when you know what you have to do, and you don't need anyone else to tell you whether you can do something or you cannot do something. You are your own challenge.
Mm.
You have to so I remember this one quote where I read somewhere. So it said, like, who is stopping you from doing what you want? Okay, and the answer is you. So it's
Mm.
just you who is stopping yourself from doing what you want. No one else can stop you. So that is what the biking does to me. Like I said, it's destined. I was destined to be on it. So I'm just there. So I don't know
So
why I was there, but I'm there. Yeah.
So beautiful. I think this conversation has been full of metaphors. You are also inspiring with everything that you say about feeling liberated, feeling independent, feeling alive, persisting with your own competence, with your own potential, and that we are the only ones who can be in our own way. And I think that that feeling of freedom, that feeling of taking off of the shackles and going after what you think you really want or need the most, I think is just so amazing. It's actually the indication of feeling truly alive. And thank you for, through your biking stories, bringing that alive for our audiences here today. I think this has been the best form of a gender diversity conversation that we've had for a very long time. So thank you for enabling that. So thank you so much for sharing, for caring, for inspiring, and for being who you are. Wish you luck. Please be safe and keep inspiring
Yeah.
everyone by just riding on the roads. I think you're just out there to inspire
Yes.
everyone in the world.
Yes.
So do the
Thank
great
you.
work that you're already doing, and good luck. Thank you, the audience, for joining and encouraging this conversation. And of course, you should reach out to the biker babes, right? Do you want to?
BKS biker
BKS
babes.
bike away.
Yeah, I'd reach out to them if you want more. Reach out to them if you want to join their club, right? If you want to learn how to
Yes.
ride,
Yes.
Shilpa ma'am is there. So reach out if you think you want to be part of this. But yeah, BKS Biker Babes, that's what they're called. And so lovely having you on board today. Thank you for these lovely conversations again. Take care, be safe.